Chapter 8, A Scream in the Darkness. In order to get upstairs, I had to walk through the oyster and taxidermy room. In other words, the room in which the bones of raptors would be reassembled or the lifeless raccoon stuffed. Enough animal heads lined the wall to fill a dozen haunting lodges. In one corner, there were so many hair and whisker samples. It could have easily been hair in a salon for woodland animals. In another corner, carefully labeled little bones set in a box, like parts of an auto repair shop. Bigger bones laid in rows on a table, and 3 partly assembled dinosaur skeletons struck poses around the room. Yoyoji picked up a femur of a large mammal off the table. You think if I toss this, any of them will run after it? Like most museums, the Natural History Museum had many more items in storage than on display. After our friends left the astrology and taxidermy room, they found themselves waving through racks of Native American tribal garments and headdresses, bows and arrows, and other assorted weapons, even a teepee hanging upside down from the ceiling. Next were the seal coats and harpoons of Actros, and the collection of pans and tools and other memorabilia from a gold rush, followed by a pair of 19th century diving suits that looked like antique astronauts. After that, the collection became too electric to categorize. It's very likely that not even the curators of the museum knew everything they had. An armored door opened into a stairwell that led to the museum upstairs. Quietly, they crept up the stairs, hoping nobody was waiting for them at the top. Ugh, Cass spun around when she reached the landing above. Max Ernest, I'm going to kill you if you tap me like that one more time, she said in an angry whisper. For several more feet behind, Max Ernest looked at her in confusion. What do you mean, I didn't? Yoyoji nodded. I can back him up. Right there the whole time. Cass's ears turned pink. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess I'm just a little jumpy. Oh, come on. Let's go. She brushed past the potted palms and hands towards the mummy exhibit. Just as Max Ernest had faced the contracts of the fluorescent bright hallway below, the galleries upstairs were barely lit. Aside from a few dim lights here and there, the museum was dark. Not so dark that you couldn't see your own hands, but too dark to read the labels on the displays, let alone read the hieroglyphs. Cass turned on her flashlight, and the beam landed on the bottom sign introducing the exhibit. Hey, did you guys see this before? Max Ernest asked, peering at the sign. Exhibition made possible by the generous grant from the Solar Zero LLC. So, asked Cass, impatient. To that get the mummy. It's just a little weird name. That's all. After they're a solar power company, why Zero? It's just a weird name. After it, that's all. They're a solar power company, why Zero? Maybe they're making sunglasses like zero UVA rays, suggested Yoyoji. All I know is my flashlight is solar. It's going to lose power in a minute. Cash pushed ahead into the exhibit. Her flashlight thrusted forward as if she meant to ward off any attackers along with the darkness. If you've ever explored a crypt in the middle of the night, and you know you have, then I don't need to tell you how unnerving it is to see a flashlight beam land on the face of a corpse. Imagine then what a mummy might look like. Then multiply that about 50. An approximate number of mummies in the exhibit, including cats, dogs, birds, and crocodiles. For all her bravery, Cass soon stopped waving her flashlight around and kept it pointed at the floor. Ahead of them, in the center of the gallery, Dr. Noom's glass chamber glinted forboringly. What was that? Cass whispered. What? Asked Max Ernest. Didn't you hear footsteps? I thought it was you. I thought it was a guard, said Yoyoji. They all stood still for a moment, but there was no other sound. Slowly, gingerly, they tiptoed towards the glass chamber. The door was slightly ajar. Cass entered first, and by the time Max, Ernest, and Yoji let themselves in, she was already standing over the sarcophagus. Before they caught up with her, they heard something they really rarely heard in all their dangerous and death-defying adventures they shared with Cass. The sound of Cass screaming. No, this isn't a new chapter. I'm just prolonging the suspense. I guess that's enough. Well, maybe one more moment. Okay, here's what happened next. With Cass' scream echoing in their ears, Max, Ernest, and Yoji ran to where she was standing by the mystery mummy open sarcophagus. What happened? Yoji asked. Are you alright? No, Cass looked unharmed, but she was breathing hard and clutching her stomach. Did something scare you? Asked Max Ernest. Was it a rat? No, nothing like that, said Cass, her ears red with embarrassment. She did not think of herself as the kind of girl who screamed in fright. I was just a little surprised. That's all. Look. Max Ernest and Yoji looked down and saw nothing. All that was left of the sarcophagus was a little spider crawling across the sandy bottom. The mummy was gone.